the most appropriate person to deal or to tell us on how best we can deal with the fears of venturing into business. And I think I'll start exactly with you. We've been having this discussion on how we can empower and just sort of train our youths to venture into business and all that, because then again that is a clear alternative to what we have today, in terms of boosting the economy. So fear of the unknown is one thing that makes very many people not want to venture into business. It's true, you have a feeling that you have passion for this thing, but first of all, you start having fear, nitatoa wapi capital. Second of all, now, okay, well, what if I put all this money here and then it backfires on me? Then what, all these what's. How can someone overcome that and just successfully slide into business? And even if you fail, it's okay, do not fear, keep trying.
True. Thanks for having me back.
Right.
I've really missed this place.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But anyway, Karibu, it's always hope for you.
Paul Thandi, I'm a brand coach. Essentially, where does fear come from? Because most of the time when I sit down with entrepreneurs and anyone who's trying to venture into business, the first question is, what's a good business? But let me tell you, anything you see with a price tag has a millionaire attached to. Even if it's a pin, even if it's, it's a mop. Anything, even if it's a bucket, even if it's a spoon, there's a millionaire behind it, So there's no bad business, and we can't say this is the only good business we have.
Yes.
When we talk about entrepreneurship, the first step should be getting yourself into the business, leave alone the money and the capital and all other things. So what is it in for you? Is the business you want to put and set up putting you a step ahead towards what you want to achieve? Is it part of the progress that you want to have? Is it part of you? Is it a passion that you have? Because there's no business that is good. And business works like this. So when it's down and you don't have a passion for it, you can't fight to get back.
Sure.
So you could have started a business that gives you 10 million, maybe even as capital and stuff. But when things get hard, when you have to wake up and, fight for it, go around it, try to see what new thing can I do, that is what people fear about. So the first wrong choice is choosing something that doesn't work for you, something that does not participate in your future, something that you don't see yourself in beyond the profits. So the fear, first of all, can be conquered by, is it something you love? Are you passionate about? Do you see yourself in the same area 10 years after this? Right. So once we've sorted that out, just jump in. And I want to mention this, capital is not the hardest thing to get in a business. It's reputation.
Okay.
Because there's a reputation formula. It's impact, what you've done, times reach, how many people know about you. Yes. So if let's say you are ISIS, you've done a lot of bad things, and how many people know about you? As many people as they can know. So that's the reputation you have. So the good thing you've done, even as a business, you might have the best solutions, but times no one knows you. So your reputation is still dangling down there. Yeah. So once you've created the reputation, your product, because there are two sides of a business. There's the business part and there's the brand part of it. Yes. So once you've been able to create a solution, then the reputation that comes from you, it starts slowly, gradually. Fundis started very slow, as a small idea.
By the way, before I hear.
So pretty much, just to give like a quick overview about Fundis. So, homes that have appliances, workplaces that have equipment, and any one of us that has any one of these modern day smart devices, we'll always need a repair specialist at some point. But the biggest question is, where and how do you get a technician or a fixer when you absolutely need one? And that's where we come in. So, at the point of a button, we are able to provide you with a competent, vetted, reliable technician. And you can always look for that reliability and convenience. So that's pretty much what Fundis is.
Oh, Fundis. Fundi. Oh, technically Fundi.
Now
I get
the point.
I say that your network is your network. Now I know there's Fundi.
You see?
That's the point. Exactly. So at least we have an idea that there's one call away. Yes.
So exactly like what I'm saying, I've seen him grow, started small. Last year they were ready to have investors come in. Right. But what are they finding? They found someone who's fought through the idea, tried all they can, and after the first few jobs they've had, they got clients. That's what has sustained them over time. So maybe the fear that people have is, when will I get the profit? No. Profit does not come just instantly. It's growth. Are you ready to dedicate yourself to this? I've seen people who've just done kinyozi all their life and they're successful. They park outside there. So there's really no good or bad businesses. So my question is to the viewers, what is your fear about? Because you can't fear your passion. You can't fear what you love. You can't fear your future. So if what you're doing is not part of that, then you're qualified to have fear.
Okay, well, so technically it's important to do what you love doing in a way. Sabi, just looping you in from what he says, I think we need to know the role of the society, the role of the parents, the role of the people around you. Like you rightfully put it, the people you connect yourself with will definitely determine whether you're going to move a step ahead or not. So looking at this and, you know, that call on parents, that call on guardians to sort of play a role. I mean, at what point do we get them involved fully? Because there's some of them who would actually discourage you in a way. At what point do you get to distinguish as a person? It's okay, you say it's okay, this is a person who's very much of importance in my life, you know, is one of the destiny shapers of my life. But probably they're saying something that I don't want. They're saying something that is not probably good enough for the business. So how do you get to balance this to ensure that you do not bring that rift, but at the same time, you know, just try and make them understand that it's okay. I'm venturing into this and I'm certain that it's going to bring results.
I think you are the ambassador of what you want to be.
Yes.
You're the master of your destiny. Therefore, you are the one to make
Convince
them,
them,
to
yes.
convince them, to make them aware of your passion. Because look at it this way. My mom wouldn't know about, some of our parents are not learned, so they wouldn't know about what is PR. I mean, what is Ibru TV.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's me to explain to her that, you see, mom, this is this and this and this is it.
Yes.
And by the way, child upbringing is what you feed your child from the age of 0 to 5.
Yes.
Yeah,
right,
that's
is
the
very,
foundation.
very
Yeah.
important. Therefore, it also depends with when you want to pump something in them. For instance, right now, my mom tells me, you must be a doctor. We must have a chemist. We must have completely none, right? Yeah, because you can't bend an already grown tree. So parents play a role at some point, but it's you to make sure that they know what you want to be. Yeah.
All right, amazing.
I want to add something to what
Yes.
she says. There's this, I think I've had this meme for a long time. And every time things are not working well, I just go there and just look at it. This guy, he has a big rock that he's pushing ahead.
Yeah,
the guy is
I know,
masculine.
we all know.
Do you know what it says? No one cares about your story until you win. So, win. You only convince people by results. And people can argue about many things, but they can't argue with results. So, the funny thing about entrepreneurship is no one believes you unless yourself. And most of the time, you have to fight for yourself to be there. And when I sit down with entrepreneurs, the first thing I tell them is, are you at peace with yourself? Things are bad, yes. Whatever is happening outside here, it's happening. But are you at peace with yourself? Do you take care of yourself better? You know, we are very good with our friends.
Yeah.
We forgive them. You know, when things are bad, we sit down with them and talk with them. We're patient with them. But what do we do to ourselves? When things go bad, you want to hit the
you
rock
want
on
to
yourself.
hit
You could
yourself
have done that
actually,
deal. What's wrong with you? Didn't send the email on time. But if it's your friend telling you the same thing you did, you'll be like, it's going to be okay. So what do you do with yourself? And this is what I call the inner coach. Others call it the soul, the other person, my inner voice. I don't care what name you give it.
Unajiita committee,
Yes.
as they would.
But there's a committing, and it happens every time.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to yourself, who is that person? I don't care the name you give them. But if that relationship is not in place, does not matter what you're chasing, besides entrepreneurship and anything in life. If that relationship is not in place, you're going to walk through a hard place. Because really, no one else will go 100 miles in like the way you can do for yourself. So really, the first part is just win your inner battle. The second part is be persistent. Because if you do this today, then tomorrow uko avocado, then the other day you go back to fundis, then the other day naweza tengeneza watu online, yeah? Then you start that. Who are you? And when you start fighting, what are you fighting for? Because people know you by your consistency. Every time I go for a TV interview, I have my topics. This is what I'm known for, and this is what I'll be called for every other time. And I've done it for a year, for another year. And so the persistence part of it is now what people look at and they're like, you had to do this thing, eh?
Yeah.
So tell us, you know. But before you can ask others to come help you, have you done 1,000 yards? Have you gone down through it 100%? Then anything else, actually people conform with what you introduce to them and become persistent about it. What you've not done in the past when you started, you know, there's that fear, people are not sure, they're asking you funny questions, but they find you're doing that 3 months, 4 months, 1 year later, like,
You're the
ule jamaa wa mafundi, eh?
You're a specialist officially. So, okay, we have like about 3 minutes to wind up. And in these 3 minutes, I want us to share our experiences briefly. You know, that experience that you found yourself in and you sort of created a solution for yourself. And, you know, it got you thinking, oh, I can do this. And this is going to make me wake up the next day and take the next step in life. I think that would be our point of hope, in a way, to the person who's watching and is sort of feeling like, I cannot do this. And I think I'll start with you. And, you know, that's just an experience that he talks about. Business is always like this. It's a tide, it's a graph. Today it's up there, tomorrow it's down. Sometimes you start it for the first time and boom, you get returns and you're like, wow, this is the
it.
thing.
This is the life, you know.
Before you realize it, it is down
It's
there.
down,
And then before you realize it, it's up there. So what is this different story? That one thing that keeps you, of course, up and reminding yourself that, yes, if I crossed this, I am suddenly going to cross even more.
Yeah, I think mine is sometime towards the close of last year. And this happens to have been the very toughest period of our entire existence. And it's where you actually ask yourself, did I make the right decision? Did I do the right thing quitting that job to come and do this? And I was at that point, you have had it rough. And you have already told everyone, okay, guys, we are now closing down. I mean, by Christmas, we are out of money. So we don't have a business next year. And I happened to have been, I was actually going to the mall. And I ran into this guy. I love him so much. His name is Michael Fling. And I ran into this guy, and he's asking me, okay, can we have coffee? And I was like in a rush, because I'm putting things in order. I'm sending out promissory notes that you guys, we are closing down. We're going to pay you sometimes next year. And the guy tells me, in that 1 minute, he tells me, look, no one is having it better. That guy didn't know what I was going through, but he tells me, look, no one is having it better. If anyone tells you they're having it easy, they're probably lying to you. And I sat down when I went back and I thought, this guy didn't know I was closing down the business, but he has just told me, no one is having it easy. So if anyone tells you they're having it easy, they're probably lying to you. And from that point, I, you know, go back, you start looking at it, and we are here. I mean, we have just had the best year ever. So looking at it, I said, I mean, that's what I live by every day. That no one is having it easy. You have to put in your time, you have to put in your effort. And someday, you know, as it is, people see the overnight success, but at times it took you 10 years. But people are seeing that overnight glory.